Hello Red Panda Girl, how are you liking the train ride?
Hi Broccoli Man, it's nice to have this opportunity to get to know you better. I am really enjoying the train ride.
I am excited to have this time to get to know you as well.
So what do you think about our current assignment?
Well, implementing a virtual desktop infrastructure is going to be a challenge because I have never done that sort of thing before.
Don't worry, I have experience with VDI implementation. Let me explain a few things to help you understand what we're going to be doing. First, let's go over virtualization. Virtualization is when you create a virtual rather than physical machine. A virtual desktop can be created by using a hypervisor. A software hypervisor divides and manages available resources to allow the creation of virtual machines. Each virtual machine has its own operating system and acts as a virtual desktop that a user can access, personalize and use as though it were their own personal computer. The difference is that instead of having multiple physical computers, in a virtual desktop infrastructure, all the workstations are virtual projections of virtual machines that are all located on a centralized server. The images are displayed on the monitor at each workstation through cords connecting to the server. Each virtual machine being displayed on each monitor actually exists on the server and is just being displayed on the monitor. Mouse clicks, audio, and keyboard all travel along cords to the server, and the monitor displays what is happening to the virtual machine located on the server and allows the user to access and interact with their account.
How might a virtual desktop infrastructure save our company money?
A virtual desktop infrastructure can save our company money by reducing energy requirements and the amount of equipment needed by replacing many inefficient servers with fewer, more efficient servers. Virtualization makes deploying new software easy because you don't have to go around installing software on each physical server. Instead, all you have to do is install it on one centralized server that has all the virtual machines installed on it. Everything is managed centrally, simplifying management and security and making it easy to monitor what each user is doing, since you can see what each virtual machine is doing at any given time.
Are there any advantages to using VDI in a box over traditional VDI?
There is quite a few advantages to using VDI in a box over a traditional VDI. One is that less equipment is needed. Also, in a traditional VDI setup, you would need shared storage, usually a SAN with high-speed interconnects, which is expensive. Also, connection brokers and load balancers. With VDI in a box, avoid issues like boot storms that in a traditional VDI setup would create bottlenecks causing complications. Also, cut data center storage costs up to 90% and dramatically reduce recurring management overhead.
How is VDI different from multipoint?
VDI is different from multipoint because multipoint uses DVI, VGA and USB cables. VDI uses Ethernet cables. Multipoint setup uses VGA cables to transfer images from server to monitors. Also, in multipoint, USB cables transfer power, keystrokes, mouse movements, audio, and microphone. With VDI you have Ethernet, RJ45 cables transferring video images, network traffic, keyboard, mouse, flash drive, audio, and microphone information.
I have heard that bandwidth is important to consider in a virtualized environment. Why is that?
Bandwidth is important to take into account when deciding to implement a virtual desktop infrastructure because depending on how many users you have and how resource-intensive the programs they will be using are, you will need more or less bandwidth. For example, say you have 50 employees and 20 of them are graphic designers that will be using resource-intensive programs, and the other 30 of them will be using the internet regularly and basic Microsoft applications like Word. The 20 graphic designers will require more bandwidth than the 30 basic users, so you may want to implement two different infrastructures to meet the two groups of users' different needs.
What are some interesting things you have learned about virtualization?
Virtualization can be implemented in many different ways, and there is a lot of virtualization software to choose from. Here are just a few options: Parallels, VMware, LinuxWorks, IBM Power VM, Citrix, KVM, Windows Virtual PC, and Microsoft Hyper-V. Virtualization is responsible for a huge change in how desktop infrastructure is done. It is the new way to keep up with constantly changing software updates and allows businesses to stay competitive. It has changed how businesses are supporting their clients and employees.
Cool, tell me more.
You can run multiple different operating systems on your own personal computer. If you install a virtualization software like Parallels or VirtualBox, you can run a Microsoft operating system on your Apple computer. If you have a cloud virtual account, you can access it anywhere from any device that has internet access. This allows for maximum flexibility and accessibility, and it also is very secure because if someone steals your laptop, the account is still managed from an external server and can be made inaccessible at any time. So if you're working on top secret business information, even if your computer is stolen, there will be unable to use your account or access any information. Hopefully you now know more than you did about virtualization.
Yes, thank you. I feel like I understand virtualization much better now.